Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. This is an introduction to backup power. You know, I've been doing installations and taking care of generators for over 20 years. What you're seeing first here, and this is a very short introduction. I will have longer programs to explain more. But what you're looking at is a standby generator, Generac. It's a engine that turns a rotor inside a stator. That's how a generator works. Now, what you're seeing on the left is a transfer switch that integrates into your home, connecting with your power panel, FPL. And when you lose power, the generator senses that, and within 10 seconds, it starts up. When it gets up to its operating voltage in amps, the little switch on the left switches you on to the generator off of your utility connection that is at this point not working. You run. Now, what makes these very expensive to install and to operate is the fact that we have to install gas. Very few locations have gas coming to the property in the form of natural gas. I'd say maybe 1 out of 20. I think over here in Naples there aren't a lot of areas that have natural gas. That's a little less expensive to install a generator. But what we have to do is, you see, these are propane tanks. The middle tank is above ground. Two on the left and right are larger, smaller propane tanks that we bury underground. So that's, you know, besides all the permitting, electrical, call it a plumbing permit, but it's gas, takes probably, by the time you get the generator, you get your permits approved, you get it installed, you're looking at a couple months. So at this time of year, it's May 23rd. In the old days, people might call me and say, Jim, I want to put a generator in for this upcoming hurricane season. And when it was at this time, I would say, I don't know if I can get it in time. And that's all because of getting the generator and all the stuff I said about permitting, inspections, et cetera, et cetera. What is a phenomenal to do instead of this is what I'm calling, and what they call, solar generator. On the left is, in essence, on the top, it's a power inverter that inverts DC power, which is in the battery that's on the bottom, just above the wheels, from DC power to AC power. Now, the transfer switch works the same way as the home standby. You lose power, it says, whoop, disconnects the utility connection, connects you, in this case, to the battery connection. Now, initially, this type of commodity really wasn't where you could have enough power to run your home. But January 9th, in this case, EcoFlow, came out with their Ultra product. And you'll see that's what I'm running. I'm in a building that I brought down from Orlando, 28 feet by 14 feet. And I run it totally off grid, and I use this system. Now, the neat thing, if you were just looking at it as this is all you can get, it would have it where that's only 6 kilowatt hours of storage. But you can add, in this case, an additional 4 batteries. All it does is stack up, and that would bring you up to about 36 kilowatt hours of storage. And beyond that, you can add additional inverters and 5 more batteries, another inverter and 5 more batteries. And you can see the 3 connections at the bottom of the transfer switch on the right. That shows where you would hook up each of the separate units. And again, you'd only need to go up to much higher power demand need is if you're running a really big home. What I have here for this building is I have the inverter and I have 3 of the battery devices. And that gives me 18 kilowatt hours of storage. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute basically how it looks here. The whole benefit with this is a generator installation and gas takes a couple months. What you have here is literally, we order the equipment, we submit, in some cases, a single electrical permit just for that transfer switch. We receive the device. I would say without any stretch of the imagination, it takes a couple days to get this installed. And then it's done, ready. We obviously put the amount of batteries that make sense for your home so that you get a good amount of running time. And if you say, oh, it was low, it got low, we can add more batteries down the road. Also, and I had this on another solar system generator, you can have portable solar panels. I mean, yes, you could have panels that you've installed in the roof, but that kind of gets in the real expense area and more permitting and time consumption. Again, you can hook up, especially with this Ultra, you could have 2 sets of solar panels if you want. And what happens is when you're on your solar generator running your home, the solar panels, at the same time you're putting out power for your home, you're replacing it with solar panels. So it's almost what I would call a perpetual backup system. And now I'm going to show you, and this is just a quick little introduction. I'm going to go into, and you're going to see it on my website, the much more longer, I think it's about 16 minutes, and most people don't want to look at this stuff, but this is important to have it where you can really make a informed decision as to the best backup solution for your home. And again, it's only May, we can get them in, we can get them installed, and you'll be happy for this hurricane season and any other power losses that comes your way. Now, what you're seeing is my Ultra system. In this case, instead of using the larger automatic EcoFlow transfer switch, I'm using just a small, I think it's about 12 circuits. That's what we call a manual. In other words, every time I come in here to work and I need to put power on, I just go to that manual transfer switch and put on the 5 circuits, one of them being a circuit for air conditioning, and we're good to go. As you can see from looking at the unit, I originally bought it with 2 batteries, and I could see about a month and a half ago that as we were getting hotter, that I would need a little bit more power to get a full 10 to 12 hours of time in this building working. So I added a 3rd battery, which gives me 18 kilowatt hours. Now you might say, what does kilowatt hours mean? It's a measurement of how many kilowatts you use in an hour. But the one thing I don't like about it, it's hard to calculate that exactly. I mean, you get an idea, you can look at refrigeration, your air conditioning, and so on and so forth, but it's very hard to actually calculate in advance what your kilowatt hours are going to be. But the nice thing about this, if you say, well, as I did here, I only had 2 batteries. I said, gee, I'm a little low on the amount of kilowatt hours I'm using, so I added a 3rd battery. So this is kind of where you get into when you talk about, okay, what's the cost? Well, in round numbers, a generator is anywhere from, with gas and all the things you need and the permitting and what have you, and the cost of the equipment, you're looking at anywhere probably from $20,000 to $30,000. And I never highball people. I don't lowball either. Have a impression of what I'm saying. The truth of it, depending on the amount of batteries, the installation isn't that expensive. And the equipment is, when you add it all together with the installation, is at least half of what a standby generator would be with a propane tank, and it only takes a couple days to install it. And there's nothing that other than, you have to order it and get it here. I don't stock these, but, you get them relatively quickly. So, thank you for being here. This is not long. I hope this gives you an idea. Even though I've been a standby generator guy for 20 plus years, this is the real choice if you want a reasonable, functional backup of your home. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate you coming to my channel and my website. And again, take care, be well, and we hope we don't have a bad hurricane season this year.